Hey, happy New Year's. Captain Matt here with Captain's Quarters First Class, a podcast about the outdoor lighting service business world. I am fired up for 2026. There's a big things happening, obviously, with Barefoot Lighting, Captain Matt Outdoors, the lighting trade school, Captain's Crew, the mentoring program. Super pumped for all that. And one of the things I want to talk about is goals. I've talked about it a few times on the podcast. I'm going to talk about it now. New year, new set of revisiting your goals is super important. And I'll be doing an event one of these upcoming Fridays here in January called the Fact Map event, the Impossible Games event, where you get on, you're gonna be working on it yourself. It's an entire day long. We're gonna do body and business. There's four core areas of your life that you need to set goals for. Body being balance and business, body being obvious, your body, your health, being that spiritual side of things, balance being your home life, your friends, your family, and then business, the thing we all spend so much time and energy on, trying to figure out goals. When we forget, there's other areas of our lives and they all affect each other. I want to talk about the look back. Now, I like to do a look back ideally once a week. We look back at that week because when you do a look back, when you have a goal setting, a look back allows you to course correct. And if you course correct after a week, it's a lot easier to course correct than if it's a month or 3 months or 6 months, where, if you're going this way, 6 months, you might be way over here, even though you're supposed to go up that. With 1 week, you might just be slightly off and you can quickly fix it, revisit it, look back. But I was doing my look back for the entire year, right? Talking about barefoot lighting specifically and how I help that, how I hinder that, right? And so last year I didn't hit the goal that I had for barefoot lighting. And there's an easy reason for that. And when I say look back, look backs aren't about excuses or accepting excuses and justifying yourself. A look back is just very honest. This happened or this did not happen. What were the factors that created that to either happen or not happen? Right, wrong, made up, in terms of we made our own excuses so we didn't do them. It doesn't matter. We need to identify what that reason was so that we can fix them. Uh, excuse me. One of my big things, first 4 months of the year, I was almost solely dedicated. I got 90% of my time focused on lighting trade school and lifetime lighting. I wasn't putting any in my mind. I said it's first quarter, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to really worry about doing soffit lightings and landscape lighting and doing all that marketing things that I know I need to do, and I've done every other year. So that affected me once it hit April because I hadn't had that snowball happening. Right, when you are continually pushing up a rock, up a hill, it's easier than if you stop, wait, and then go keep doing it, right. That initial inertia to get the rock going is the tough part. So I created that for myself. And um, so one, I didn't put enough time. I didn't have the staff required to dedicate the time and energy I was dedicating to the lighting trade school. So barefoot lighting kind of got on the back burner. Additionally, I didn't have any good technicians up until about June, right? So any of the work sold, I would do, or me and my son would do, which really makes me not want to sell jobs, right? Because I know every time I strap on the tools, I lose money. I'm more valuable out designing and selling and moving the company forward in other directions, not doing the trenching, not doing the connections. It's not about being above them. It's just about knowing where my value sits the most. And my value does not sit the most as a technician. It's just not who I am. It's not where my strength is. Of course, I can do it. I can do it with my eyes closed and I can do it well. But it's not what helps me or any of the people that work for me. It actually hurts everybody. So that first half of the year was really bad in terms of, if we didn't look at any of the reasons, just what happened, like, damn, like, it's obvious when you look at it, there was an issue happening here in the first half of the year. I had hired a few people. They sucked. They were just bad. They didn't show back up. It was a shit show until I found uh, Andrew, my technician. And then I had another part timer, Nick. And that started to change everything. And it's funny is that you can see, even based on the revenue and everything, when I hired the people. And it is such an amazing thing when I hired both of those, Nick and Andrew, at, hey, it's going to be part time, 25, maybe 30 hours a week. That's it. If we can grow and do more, it can grow into a full time thing. Well, the day I hired them was the day they started basically at 35 to 40 hours a week, every single week from when they hired them to right now, which is January 7th. Now I have two full timers and a part timer now. We don't do Christmas light installation, so it wasn't like Christmas lights help fill that gap up. It was just having that crew and having technicians that I know and trust, and Tejna and Ryan, knowing that they care about their job, they're great to my clients, they love their job. I was able to confidently sell more work and just focus on that part and what a change it was. So during the look back, I can discover that it's that can be an excuse, or you can say, okay, this happened. This is real. I didn't sell work because I didn't want to install it myself, or I didn't sell work because I focused almost none of my time on the thing that actually pays the bills, the bread and butter. I was focusing on something that doesn't give me any money whatsoever, which is the lighting trade school. It was looking back, it's like, okay, this happened. So now going forward in 2026, what are the rules? What are the processes? What are the walls I can create to make sure that this never happens again? It's not about an excuse and justifying it. It's just a reality. It happened. And as long as we are willing to accept that reality of what happened, then we can change it. Then we can make sure it doesn't happen again. If we want to write it off, or we don't want to admit and be honest with ourselves, we're never going to change it. If I just say, wow, the leads didn't come in, no one wanted to close, well, that would be bullshit, but it'd be the easier answer because I wouldn't have to take any responsibility on myself. At this point, it's all my fault, right? Now, personal things going on, lighting trade school stuff going on, barefoot lighting stuff going on. It's easy looking back now to see why it happened, but I couldn't admit that in the time and in that moment it was happening. So that's why I look back is super important. Now I know that, and I can create the things to make sure that never happens. I have more of a staff now. Not only do I have the two full-time techs, part-time tech, obviously full-time assistant, full-time VA, and I'll be taking on a salesperson here in the next month and a half or so. Because even looking back at, I still basically am a leads guy. I sell leads, or I sell jobs, even though I don't do the jobs for Christmas. And then the soffit lighting, the permanent lighting, gemstone lighting, leads were through the roof, and it was just me. I didn't have a salesperson this year. I thought to myself, I can handle it. I want to get my hands super muddy, super dirty into this nitty gritty again. Because honestly, from the business buyout, when I bought out Elfbert's Inc. and Christmas Guys and Barefoot Lighting, it wasn't a planned transition. I wasn't actually even trying to buy it out to begin with. I was trying to leave. I was going to take a few months, figure out where I wanted to go, and then leave New York State, because I was in a bad business partnership. We did not work well together. I needed out. So I thought the easiest way was, hey, you just buy me out and I'll walk away and we'll do this clean. And it turned into a whole thing. In the end, I ended up buying him out. And that was 2.5 years ago now. And all the shit that happened around it, it was contentious. It was lots of craziness happening. I'm still rebuilding from that because some of the key members of the staff were family of my partner, all of this stuff. So then the thing I'd been working on since 2009, day in and day out, eating, living, breathing, trying to build, all of a sudden, it was like being back at square one, but not really back at square one. I still had my reputation. I still had my clients. I still had work, but I needed to find new people, right? I had spent years training these people to be in the positions they were, right? An operations manager, a field operations manager, president, vice president, all of that, sales manager, salesmen, right? It was all, but those things aren't snap your fingers and you have a whole staff, right? Not when it's that small where everything relies on everybody else. You need to go through, you need to, fire slow, fire fast, and wait until you find those people. And that can take a while. And I didn't spend enough time doing that. That's for sure. Last year, right? Being honest, I put all my time, energy into finding the right technicians because I know, being honest with myself, right? I can do sale. I can make sure sales happen as long as I know people will do the job. But then during the fourth quarter between Christmas and gemstone leads, I could not keep up, but I wanted to, right? So I went, I did every proposal. I made videos for every single Christmas proposal I did, from a $750 job to a $35,000 residential job. It didn't matter. I was going to prove that you could. So many guys told me they didn't have time to send out estimates. I couldn't do it. I didn't understand. So I said, well, fuck it. I'm going to understand fully. It's been a minute since I've been the guy that is solely responsible for only this with no helper, no assistance in terms of sales calls and proposals and all that estimating. So I did it. I got back into it fully submersed. That's all I could do. There were so many, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and I dropped the ball. I could not keep up. Now I got everyone their estimates out, but sometimes it'd be 7 days, 10 days. Right? It needs to be 24 hours, 48 hours on a big landscape lighting design. 24 hours or less needs to be the thing. I couldn't keep up with that. Okay, well, I need to bring on back my sales force and start bringing that back. I've got my technicians. Now it's time to bring back my sales force. And once I bring back my sales force, hopefully take one of my technicians, make them into a field manager and then into an ops manager, etc. Just building back smartly by filling in the roles that either I cannot do well or I do not want to do, right? I can hire someone that's better at sales than me. I can hire someone that's better at installing than me. I can hire someone that's better than at managing all the different facets of the field than me, better at managing ordering than me, right? Being a good leader is, of course, being willing to get your hands dirty to get the work done when needed. But being a good leader is finding the right people to fill those spots when you realize that you can hold your own team back. And you've got people that support their families that are working for you. They're basing their life goals around you and you creating that. So if you stand in their way, that's not fair to them. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to their family. So the look back is an important part of goal setting, because you can set all the fucking goals you want and you can not hit them, still stay motivated. And I want to keep going. I want to set new goals. I want to set new goals. If you never take the time to look back and see what happened and then spend some time diving into why it happened, you're just going to be on the same roller coaster and the same hamster wheel over and over and over again. You got to look back. You got to course correct, and you got to protect yourself from making the same mistake time and time and time and time again. Because I know how easy of a trap that is. I am working my ass off. How come I'm not hitting my goals? I'm doing everything. I'm working 60, 80 hours a week, and I'm not making the money I want to make. Why? It's clearly not for a lack of effort. Clearly not for a lack of time. There's something wrong. There's a tweak that has to happen. There's a mindset shift that must be made. There's a focus shift that must be made, right? If you were saying, I keep doing this and it's not working, try something else. I'm not saying try a different business. For instance, if all you try is Facebook ads and you say Facebook ads suck, what are you trying differently? You're trying Nextdoor ads, you're trying LinkedIn ads, Google ads, whatever the case might be. If you think that, don't just talk shit and make that excuse, because it's easy to put in your mind, well, it's not my fault that Facebook leads suck. It's not my fault I'm not getting any calls. It's not my fault, right? I've got $10 a day on Google ads. I've got $5 a day on Facebook and I'm not getting shit. Okay. How long are you going to try that before you look back and say, wait a second, is it the platform? Is it me? Is it my budget? Is it my content? Because obviously we know Facebook ads work, LinkedIn ads work, Instagram ads work, and Google ads work. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a thing in how big they are. So they work. So if they're not, they work in general. If they're not working for you, why? You can't always just blame the creative. You can't blame the agency. You have to figure it out, because just blaming them and then making that as an acceptable reason why means you don't move forward. I did that. I got so upset. All these different agencies I've hired to do Facebook ads, not working, not working, not working. And at one point, I just stopped using Facebook ads and I didn't hire any agencies. That's stupid. But I accepted it in my mind because the other ones I'd used didn't get the results that I wanted. That is stupid of me, right? But it was easy. I didn't feel bad about it at the time because in my mind, it was fine. I tried these 3 agencies. They all sucked. All agencies suck. Fuck it. I'm not even running a Facebook ad anymore. That was stupid. I had to isolate. Was I hands-on enough? Did I provide content every time they asked me? Did I provide the right budget that they asked me? Did I do a follow-up? Did I have enough follow-up? Did I provide estimates within 24 hours? Did I go to site visits? All of these things. So I can remove, it can still be an agency problem. But what was I doing or not doing that I could have done better, or I could have just been doing to help that be that return of investment that I was hoping for? Right. So looking back and being honest with what you were doing wrong, or the problem at large, what it was, not accepting it, but accepting it as fact so that you can move on from it and do better in the future. All right. That's what I have. So check, go to CaptainMattOutdoors.com, apply for my mentorship. Hit me up if you're interested in joining the Fact Map event that's going to be happening here this month. I don't know if I'm inviting anybody besides Captain crew members. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but hit me up. And that is, we're going to dive into the real, radical, and impossible games. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do body and business together separately. It's going to be a great day. This has been Captain Matt on Captain's Quarters First Class, the podcast about outdoor lighting services businesses. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.